Jai Anilo Premadano Karma Kacho
Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitinamine Krishna Consciousness, Bhaktivedanta Swami Namaste Saraswati Deva Gauravani Prachayine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Asyakya Visatharine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Thank you very much. Om Gyan Timirandasya Gyana
Anjanachalakaya Chakshurumilitam Dena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Katanayam Tatati Swapadamika Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Jivapadakanam Sri Guru Vaishnavam Nischa Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatharam Tvam Sajivam Sarvaitam Sarvadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakam Nischa He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radhanatha Namustate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishadhanam Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Nivasindhuya evacha Padidhanam Bhavanibhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaur Bhaktivedanta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Thank you very much for kindly attending this evening's festival at the world famous temple of Sri
You glorified the story. Yeah, now.
I was wondering, what should we chant more? When did Star Chant end?
8:30.
8:50.
It's articulate.
That's 1 hour. So should I speak for a few minutes? Tell me how I can sleep. Should I speak or chant or neither or both? Last night, Prabhu asked about very special memories of experiences that we personally shared with His Divine Grace, Srila Tamal Krishna Goswami. Compared to the personal experiences all of you shared with him, I have no right to speak. But because you have ordered me to speak, as impudent and unqualified as I may be, I will speak even in front of the deities. There are so many wonderful memories that are forever engraved within the core of my heart of Srila Goswami Maharaj's loving kindness and mercy upon me. With your permission, I will share one that is very special in my heart. I am not expert at remembering what year things happened. But when Goswami Maharaj and Giriraj Swami Maharaj first acquired that property at Sri Giriraj Govardhan, that is now the resplendent Bhaktivedanta ashram. They had just gotten the proprietorship recently before, and Tamal Krishna Goswami was there in Govardhan. Meanwhile, I was in Bombay, just trying to mind my own business and not get in anyone's way as far as possible, which is perhaps my main ambition in life. And I had so many commitments, big preaching programs, and they were set weeks, sometimes months in advance. And in the midst of this very intense preaching schedule, I get a phone call from Vrindavan. It was Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. He said, we just acquired this beautiful palace at Govardhan. And he said, and since you're a Brijabasi that spent time in Vrindavan, I would like you to come to help me make plans of how to renovate and organize the construction for the program. And well, guess what? Now I can begin. So I said, Maharaj, I don't know anything about construction or organizing buildings. He said, no. He said, I really want you to come. I said, well, I have very serious preaching programs for the next 10 days. When do you want me to come? He said, today. I said, Maharaj, it might really break devotees' hearts if I just leave in the middle of all this. And he said, well, it will break my heart if you don't. So when Srila Tamal Krishna Goswami tells you to come, you must come. So I told the devotees in Bombay, I'm going to Vrindavan. They said, when? I said, today. They said, why? I said, because my older brother, Srila Tamal Krishna Goswami, he wants me to come immediately. So as soon as I mentioned his name, there was no argument. Everyone understood my predicament. And so I went to Govardhan, and he was showing me around and telling me all of his ideas and asking my opinions and my ideas. And it was really, that building was really a wreck. It was in very, very disrepair. There was all kinds of junk filling most of the whole rooms. And he was explaining his vision. He wanted, especially his godbrothers,
to have a place. He said, my God brothers, so many of them are extending their lives, just giving up themselves so much for the welfare of others. They're sacrificing their health. They have so much of their energy is just extending to give other people Krishna consciousness. He said, I would like this a place, the holiest place in all of the universe, at Govardhan, for my God brothers to come and be able to just be with Giriraj Govardhan in this secluded, quiet place to do bhajan, to go deeply into the holy name, to the study of Prabhupada's books, and to have very deep spiritual satsang with each other. This is my hope. And we shared this, and we were walking around for some time. And it was either that time or the next time I met him there. I remember it happened to be the day of the appearance of Radhanatha, Bahulastami. And Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj took me to the very, very topmost level of that palace. How many of you have been there? So you know that very high, topmost veranda that is there? It's just a small section. You climb up staircase after staircase and get way up to the top. It's tall. It's the most beautiful darshan of Shiva. It was night. We spent the whole day together just discussing Krishna Consciousness, the project, Prabhupada, certain affairs within society. And when we got up there, it was just the two of us. We were discussing the glories of Govardhan. It was so sweet. Citing from various scriptures, citing from Prabhupada's books, citing our own realizations, citing the realizations of the previous acharyas. It went on for hours. Description of the appearance of Govardhan, the glories of Govardhan, the various pastimes that took place at Govardhan. And Goswami Maharaj was in such ecstasy. It was a completely quiet night. And it was just the stars, a little moon shining, and he Govardhan, just listening, giving his most resplendent darshan. We felt so intimately connected in that place discussing this subject. And Goswami Maharaj, he was in ecstasy. He was really in ecstasy. He called for Kirtida. She was downstairs. She was cooking something or something like that. And he wanted her to be there for this discussion. So at a certain point, he called down for Kirtida Mataji. And she came up with one other god sister of hers. I don't remember her name. And they came up, and the two of them sat in that little area with Tamal Krishna Goswami and myself, just to hear this Giriraj Govardhan Gita. We spoke hour after hour after hour. We started just before sunset until almost midnight. And then, Keshu Bharati Prabhu called, let us go bathe in Radha Kund for the midnight bath. And Goswami Maharaj said, I will stay here. It's difficult to express in words what a beautiful experience that was, because how dear Rajbhumi is to Srila Tamal Krishna Goswami. And how supremely dear is Govardhana to Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. It was really such a intimate and deep offering to Srila Prabhupada in his heart to develop that project. And to sit alone with him in that very auspicious place. We were hardly looking at each other. We were talking to each other, looking at Govardhana. And every now and then we would just glance upon each other. And the type of katha that was inspired in that environment was transcendently incredible. I was tasting perhaps a drop from the ocean of the pleasures that we read about amongst the great acharyas when they would sit together in a holy place discussing Krishna's divine pastimes. And another thing that was so special is Tamal Krishna Goswami's very, very deep love for Kirtana as his disciple. He felt so grateful, so indebted for her years of devotional service, her sacrifice, that he actually went through much effort to bring her up there. He wanted to share that nectar with her. He didn't want to enjoy that environment and that katha himself. He wanted Kirtana Mataji. But she was in this. She was weeping. She just felt herself so fortunate. The Guru Maharaj called me up for a discussion like this in this place. 2 sannyasis and 2 ladies. So although it's very impossible to describe in words, this is one of the most special moments I ever had with the association of Tamal Krishna Goswami. It was very, very spiritually attached. It was profound. To see his deep, love-saturated heart for Krishna, for Vrindavan, for Govinda. And ultimately, in his service to Prabhupada, to develop that project, to share that love with the world, and especially his God brothers, God sisters, and all devotees of this tribe. Another very special experience was last year at Janmashtami. A new Braj Dham in Hungary. Shivaram Maharaj and Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj both invited me to come. So although I was supposed to be in London for that, I told the devotees in London that Shivaram Maharaj and Tamal Krishna Goswami ordered me to go to Hungary. And because the leaders of the preaching in London are Shivaram Maharaj's disciples, there was nothing they could say about it. I said, what should I do? They said, you should go to Hungary. So I went. There was a caste of transcendental Vaishnavas that assembled there. There was Shivaram Maharaj, Bibi Govinda Maharaj, Niranjan Maharaj, Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, Keshav Bharati Prabhu, Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Maharaj. There were others too. Who? Giridhari Maharaj, Malati Mataji. It was a wonderful, Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj was there. So I arrived late at night, and the next day, Tamal Krishna Goswami was supposed to arrive. And they were trying to meticulously make every possible arrangements so that everything would be perfect for him. So he was the chief guest. And they sent someone to the airport with a special van, air-conditioned van, and the person had a cellular phone to call and tell the leaders there, the managers, exactly moment to moment what was happening. So the first thing was he calls. He said, Goswami Maharaj, all of his luggage was lost. He has nothing. Didn't even have another dhoti to wear. Everything was in baggage. And they don't know when the next will be found. Pretty wrong. And I think the next phone came. If I remember right, I think he said the air conditioning in the van would be out. So some of the leaders were really afraid of what would happen at the moment of the So the Lord was thinking, he doesn't have anything except his chakra beads. So there was a little kirtan to greet him. And he was just so blissful. He came into his room. He had a little house. He had his own little house, beautiful house. And just some of the senior god brothers assembled there with him. And he was just so happy. He said, it's Krishna's arrangement. I don't have anything. He said, does anybody have a dhoti I can borrow? Totally detached. Everyone was shocked. And they actually, thinking that he might not be very happy with the arrangements, they made special pizzas for him. And he was so happy just to be with his godbrother. Who cares if I have clothes? Who cares if I lose everything? I have my godbrothers association. I'm so happy. So happy. He brought the pizza and he was very happy. And then we had kirtan at night. And somehow or other, he was just standing in front of the deities of Sri Sri Radhanatha. He was just gazing upon them with such intense affection, such intense devotion. And the kirtan was very, very wonderful. And everyone was dancing. And everyone was afraid to approach him. So, being as foolish as I am, I said, Maharaj, let us dance. And he said, actually, my health is not very good, and maybe tomorrow. And within about a second after he said that, he just took me by the hands and began to dance. And we danced for several hours together. It was so special. Although there was a couple hundred devotees, Goswami Maharaj and I were just, the two of us were just dancing together in harmony with each other. Sometimes I would follow whatever gestures he did, and other times he would follow whatever gestures I did. We just danced and danced and danced in bliss. It was so beautiful. I can tell you something. His dancing is exquisite. so graceful, so artistic, so perfect, and so full of devotion. I never saw him dancing with this. It was beautiful. And we went on together for hours. Sometimes embracing, sometimes spinning around me. But I wish someone would do it. Someone may
I
have.
have the tape, Maharaj. I have
We're dancing
4
together on
hours.
that tape?
Yes. It's so ecstatic.
Can you show me tomorrow?
I'll make you a copy.
Pretty well.
I just got it. 2 days ago.
Does it look as good as it sounds?
It's amazing.
So then the next day came. And right at the very beginning of the kirtan, this was Prabhupada's Guru. Because in this Hungary Janmashtami celebration, we were there for 4 days before Janmashtami. The first day we danced, I believe, was in Sandhyarti. The next day was Prabhupada's Guru. The first day they announced that B.B. Govinda Maharaj would give class, Bhagavatam class. Guru Puja began at 7:15, if I remember. It went on till 11:30 in the morning. Prabhupada's Guru Puja. And then they said, B.B. Govinda Maharaj, it's time for class. And he just said, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Thank you very much. The kirtan is the ultimate conclusion of all classes. It's the final verse of Bhagavatam. Nama Sankirtanamyasya Sarvapapa Pranashini. The ultimate conclusion of Bhagavatam is to perform the Sankirtan of the holy name and to bow down before the devotees and the Vaishnavas that will remove all sins and attain to give us the highest perfection. The next day, they didn't even announce anyone for class. It went on again till 11:30. Janmashtami, Guru Puja went on till 1:30. From 7 o'clock to 1:30. Something like that. And the other days, it went on till about between 11 and 12. So the next day, the second day, just before the kirtan started, this was so sweet. Tamal Krishna Goswami came up to me, so charming, so affectionate. The kirtan just began, and he took me by the hand and said, real humble, and so sincere. He said, will you dance with me? So then we danced for many hours. And then that evening was Sangha Arati. And Radhanatha Swami actually was leading that kirtan. And I picked up a mridanga. I was just about to pick up a mridanga to play mridanga with him for the kirtan. And Tamal Krishna Goswami put his hand in the mridanga, so I couldn't pick it up. He said, you're not going to play this mridanga, are you? And I said, yes, I'm going to play the mridanga. But if you play the mridanga, how could we dance? I said, Maharaj, what do you want me to do? He said, forget the mridanga. He said, dance with me. And we had a wonderful experience. And after that festival, he told me, that he never danced that much in his entire life since he's been a devotee. He's dancing hours and hours and hours a day. Beautiful. You have the tape.
2 tapes. 4 hours.
There you are. Where's the tape?
I get it for you by tomorrow.
So that was very special. And as I was leaving, of course, before I left New Virgin Town, we were staying for several days after the festival. And I specifically, on my way out, I went to his house just to ask his blessings to leave. Because nothing is auspicious without the blessings of Sri Krishna. That is something we must learn very carefully. And without the blessings of Vaishnavas, nothing we do can be truly auspicious and pleasing to Krishna. So we just talked about our dancing together. We decided that we would meet again next year to dance together. And I'm thinking now that my prayer is that within my heart I may forever dance to the beautiful, wonderful dancing of Tamal Krishna Goswami. Actually, everything he did was with such perfection. It was with such heart and soul. When he was dancing, it wasn't just movements of the body in harmony to various rhythms and beats. It was actually his heart expressing its love for Krishna through every movement. That's the way it appeared to me. A very beautiful inspiration. In Mayapur, just this last festival, there was a celebration. I believe it was the 30th anniversary of the Mayapur Festival. And they invited the senior-most devotees who were present during the first festival to be on stage to speak. And meanwhile, those extraordinary kirtans I was discussing last night that Tamal Krishna Goswami organized and inspired in his room, they became so well attended that they shifted it down to the temple. So the kirtan was at the same time as this festival. So Goswami Maharaj was on stage with Radhanatha Swami Prabhupada, and Jayapataka Maharaj, and some other very, very senior Vaishnavas of our society. And Goswami Maharaj spoke. He told incredible stories. I'm sure you've heard them many times, but for my purification in this holy place, I'd like to repeat one of them. He told the story of how Prabhupada wanted him to purchase the land of Mayapur. This is the international headquarters of Srila Prabhupada's society. Prabhupada chose a particular plot of land. But there were particular people who were adamantly against Prabhupada and ISKCON getting that land. And when Prabhupada sent devotees to finalize the formalities and to purchase the land, there was so much opposition that the people who were opposing convinced the sellers not to sell, convinced our own lawyers, the devotees' lawyers, not to pursue it, and convinced the devotees not to buy it. There you go. So Prabhupada was saying his top man, but none of them could do it. It was impossible. So under such circumstances, who do you think Srila Prabhupada called upon? Srila Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj Ki. Prabhupada said, I want you to get that land for me. So he went down. He was just determined. It wasn't a question of whether I can get it or not. It was just a question of how to do it. He had such incredible faith and willingness to just do whatever Prabhupada wanted done at any cost. So he was explaining how difficult it was, but somehow or other he convinced everyone to sell the land. And when it came to the actual sale, Prabhupada gave him the money before he left Calcutta. Prabhupada took a piece of cloth like a copet and made a money belt. He wrapped up the money in a piece of cloth and then wrapped it around his waist. And Prabhupada personally tied it around. So because if people see that you have a bag or something sounding with money, you don't know what will happen. It was, in those days it was a lot. But ISKCON, that's very little. But there were hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these rupee notes. And the people who were buying them, they wanted every single rupee notes, entire serial numbers to be written down. It was hot. It was really hot. And they were just sitting in this kind of a shed. And the people who were going to be getting the money, it was a lot for them. So they were standing around with hatchets and machetes and swords and all kinds of primitive weapons, just to protect themselves. They're all standing closely right around Tamal Krishna Goswami. Each bill you'd have to take out individually, and then they'd sit down with a pencil and a paper and write down the entire serial. There's a lot of serial numbers on these rupee notes. And most of the rupee notes were small notes. It took hours and hours and hours. Tremendous amount of loving devotional service went into this land. By the time he came back to Calcutta, it was about midnight. He went to the temple. Every light was on. But there was one light that was on. Srila Prabhupada's room. Every devotee was asleep, but Prabhupada was awake. As soon as they came to Prabhupada's door, Prabhupada was sitting up. And he looked at Tamal Krishna Goswami and said, I have been waiting for you all night. Goswami Maharaj bowed down, offered his dandavats. got up, handed Prabhupada the deed to the land in Mayapur. And said, Srila Prabhupada, the land is yours. Prabhupada just looked at him with such love. He didn't say this, but I'm saying this. Prabhupada looked at him, and Tamal Krishna Goswami said, Prabhupada said, thank you very much. And then embraced him. And then told Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, now you can take rest. You didn't sleep perhaps for days to do that service. When Srila Prabhupada said thank you and embraced him, what must have been in Prabhupada's heart? Now Prabhupada had land to develop the international headquarters for his ISKCON, the main pilgrimage site where devotees would come from all over the world to celebrate the mercy and glories of Lord Chaitanya. Then he explained about the building of the temple. He had to go out and buy steel for the construction. And then when he put it on trucks, and by the time it came to Mayapur, much of the steel was stolen. In other words, some people like to steal steel. This is the art of stealing. So Prabhupada, you see in his diary, in 1965 and 1966 in New York, before he had any disciples, before there was any ISKCON, before 26 2nd Avenue, every penny that came in and out, he recorded in his diary. Because Prabhupada considered everything is Krishna's property. And anything Krishna puts in our care, we are totally responsible to our spiritual master, to the disciple succession, and to Krishna, that it is used perfectly. We have to be totally accountable to Guru and Krishna for everything that comes to be utilized in his service. That's Krishna consciousness. When we say everything belongs to Krishna, what does that mean in practical terms? What is the real consciousness? Prabhupada showed us how accountable he was. So when he heard that steel was being stolen, he told Tamal Krishna Goswami, there should be no steel stolen. No one should steal Krishna's steel. So he had to ride in the trucks with the steel to make sure they didn't sell it on the way. That's what they were doing. The truck drivers would just sell pieces of it on the way. They just you bring in those lorries to India. That's what he was doing for weeks, just going back and forth in these lorries. But then when he got to Mayapur, the villagers around Mayapur were stealing. Because they was just laying out in the field. Now, you know the mosquitoes in Mayapur? And you know Tamal Krishna Goswami's, he doesn't have much inclination toward mosquitoes. For those of you who know him. And he loves their spirit souls, no doubt. He knows that his blood, every particle of his blood is meant for Prabhupada's service. It's not meant for mosquitoes. So, he had to Every night he had to sleep outside in the middle of an open field, laying on top of the pile of steel. And also, that's risking your life, because those people who steal it, they can have weapons too. And he was there to protect what was Prabhupada. So he was personally telling these stories. And he spoke so many other wonderful narrations. And then he ended. It was a beautiful talk. I was sitting in the back of the audience just listening. It was so beautiful. And then he said there was many other speakers that were supposed to speak after him. And he said, actually, said this to the whole audience, that my health is not so good today. So I'm going to have to excuse myself and leave early. So then he left the stage. And as he was walking on that little pathway in my little gardens, I joined him. And the two of us were walking together. And I told him how much I really appreciated his talk. And he said to me, actually, he said, my health is very good. But I just want to go to that kirtan. My heart is longing to be in that kirtan. So we were walking toward the kirtan. And as we were walking, I asked him some questions. And he began to answer these questions. He became so inspired. He was discussing these very wonderful topics about Srila Prabhupada. I was asking him how Prabhupada dealt with certain types of people and certain types of circumstances. Because these were things only he knew. And he was so enlivened to discuss these things. By the time we got to the temple, he said, should we just continue talking? And meanwhile, the kirtan, there were hundreds of people in that kirtan. At that time, Shiva Maharaj was singing. It was incredible, tumultuous. The devotees were just screaming out the holy names. I said, Maharaj, you really wanted to go to the kirtan? He said, I do, but I also want to talk to you. I said, this discussion is so, it's so ecstatic. He said, what should we do? I said, well, what do you want to do? He said, what do you want to do? I said, whatever you want to do. And he said, well, I want to keep talking. And I said, well, why don't we go to the kirtan for 15 minutes and then we'll come out and talk. He said, that's it. So we went inside and we both sat down and became completely absorbed in this beautiful kirtan. And then in about 8 minutes, he tapped me on the shoulder. He said, let's continue the talk. So we left the temple together. And a few of his very dear disciples came, some devotees from Italy. And they saw we were having a nice talk, so they kept a distance of about 20 feet, and they were walking behind. And we just started walking. And we went between that long building and the Gada building. It was a big area of just land. And for about at least an hour or so, we were just walking and talking. And he was sharing such intimate experiences with Srila Prabhupada. He was discussing Prabhupada's relationships with different members of Gaudiya Math. He was discussing various incredible services Prabhupada asked him to perform. He was discussing certain very, very, very special features of Prabhupada's devotional service and his simplicity, which he witnessed. And after about an hour or so, walking through the fields, the mosquitoes really started attacking me. So he said, let us go in my room. So we went to the room, and just the two of us were there. And we talked for another couple hours. He explained in great length his deep appreciation for Kirti and Mataji. He explained his hopeful plans for the future in his devotional service to Prabhupada. I told last night, but I'll speak it again. As we were speaking these subjects, we were speaking about certain devotees also, and the glories of various Vaishnavas. The kirtan was still going on downstairs. And he said, just hear Naranjan Swami's love as he's chanting the holy names. He was just so happy to glorify the devotional qualities of his godbrothers. And he said that this is the real solution to the problems of this kind. This is the only true way we're going to spread this movement all over the world. Is when our devotees learn to come together to chant the holy names. He said this should be the prominent feature of the Mayapur festival. To come before Radhanatha together, take shelter of the holy names. He said when the Indian devotees, especially the Bengalis, when they see foreigners actually going deeper and deeper and deeper into the nectar of the holy names, then they will truly respect the foreign devotees. He said this will unify our society. And when our society is unified around the holy name of Krishna, then its power will spread throughout the world. So many wonderful discussions we discussed, and it was becoming quite late. So we somehow running tore ourselves away. I was leaving, and we went out to that little room that's the entrance room, where his assistants usually sit and wait for instructions. And his Bengali disciples from Calcutta, there was about 3 or 4 of them that were sitting there. We were just waiting, and we came out together. He was sitting so gracious. He saw me to the door, and then he assigned 2 of his followers to walk with me all the way to my room, because it was a long distance away. I was staying in the Gada building. I said, no. I said, Goswami Maharaj, I can go myself. I said, no. He said, you are my guest. He said, I must send escorts to go with you. So, then I put on I had these little chapels. I wish I brought that actually. You know what padukas are? They're like wooden shoes with a little peg on the top. Well, these are rubber sandals that look exactly like that. You know, the exact type of peg on the top. And some devotee gave them to me in Bombay. So I wore them. They looked just like sadhu shoes, but they were rubber. They were like a neophyte padukas. So he saw them. He liked them so much. He said, those are real sadhu shoes. He said, those are really sadhu shoes. He said, did you have them made? And I said, no, they sell them at a store. I said, do you like them? He says, those are great. They're really sadhu shoes. And they're practical. People can actually wear them. And I said, Maharaj, would you like me to get you a pair? He said, yes. I said, what size do you wear? He said, 10 and a half. I said, I'll get you a pair. I'll send it to you as soon as possible. He said, no. He said, no. He said, next year during Kartik, I'm making plans that I'm going to spend a lot of time with you in Bombay Chowpatty. We'll be together again. I want to be there with you and your devotees. He said, I love your temple, I love your devotees, and I want to spend to see quality time with all of you. He said, when I come in Kartik, he said, then you can give me those shoes. And he said this in front of his Bengali followers, disciples. He just initiated some of them a couple days before. That was late at night, just less than a day and a half later, Goswami Maharaj was called by Srila Prabhupada to render devotional service in another place. The next day, those Bengali devotees came to me weeping. They were weeping. Their hearts were shattered. And they said, Maharaj, please give us permission to do a special service for our Gurudev. Said during Kartik next year, we will come to Chowpatty, Radha Gopinath Temple, and we would like to come and accept those padukas, the shoes, on his behalf, and take them back to Calcutta and worship. But these are a few special memories. I feel very sad that I just do not have the power to express with my words the significance of these events in my heart. Swami Maharaj invested so much of his life, so much of his precious time in giving you Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada, I believe Srila Prabhupada trained him more than any other devotee in the world, personally, because he knew whatever he taught Tamal Krishna Goswami, he would teach to the world. And sometimes he encouraged you lovingly. Sometimes he may chastise you severely. But you should know, whatever he did, he was trying to share Prabhupada's mercy with you. Prabhupada told all of us, you can repay me by giving to others what I have given to you. And Prabhupada gave such immense wealth of mercy and instruction to Tamal Krishna Goswami. So he had a lot to share. And that wealth had many transcendental varieties. And especially invested it in the devotees here in the Dallas, Houston. So you should consider yourselves very, very fortunate. But also you should know that the more we receive, the more we are responsible to utilizing it. It's a living body. Parampara. Parampara in essence is sharing the wealth of love that we have received. True love, pure spiritual love, Krishna's love. Thank you very much. You like kirtan?
Yeah.
Will you dance with me? Shri Radha Kalachandi ki jai. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gauranga Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hari Rama, Hari Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,